Hello there, my name is Sixo, but more on that later, as now it's time for today's Toy of the Week video. Now, I had a big think about what I should choose for this week's figure, and in the end I decided to go for something that I'd owned for a good couple of years before I eventually decided to sell it on again not so long ago. Except I then realised that I actually really missed it, and I decided to buy it back again just recently. Now, the too long didn't read version of that is that it's a fabulous toy and fully deserves a bit of focus this week. It's Maketoys Galaxy Meteor. Now, I love this design anyway, so I was definitely feeling the pull to own the figure all over again, but I guess what really encouraged me was seeing some of the other third-party companies finally jumping on the masterpiece-styled Unicron Trilogy bandwagon. I mean, coming up soon we have the rather wonderful-looking Fans Hobby Naval Commander, which is their take on Armada Optimus Prime, or Micron Legion Convoy if you prefer, and that figure is really shaping up to look quite special. Then Transform and Rollout have just thrown their hat in the ring by unveiling their attempt at a Cybertron Optimus Prime, or Galaxy Force Convoy. It's early days on this one yet, and it's only the second toy that they've ever made, but it still looks ace, and I'm definitely excited about this one. Of course, Maketoys themselves did previously reveal their own plans for a Galaxy Convoy figure back in 2017, although sadly that hasn't come to pass yet, along with a number of their other designs that I know a lot of people would love to see happen still. They even unveiled a design for a Cybertron Megatron too, but alas, it's shown no signs of happening so far. Thing is, Maketoys have had some widely reported financial difficulties of late, and general speculation was that they were done and dusted until they recently announced their return and dropped a pre-order for a premium version of their Downbeat figure, which is being re-released soon. Anyway, it looks like they're hopefully getting back on track, so fingers crossed that we may even see some of those designs that they dropped still happen, especially if they're as good as Galaxy Meteor here. So on that note, let's take a look at what this toy is all about. Maketoys Galaxy Meteor is an unofficial masterpiece-style figure which is meant to represent Galaxy Force or Cybertron Starscream from the Unicron Trilogy era. This third-party toy was released around the end of 2017, having been unveiled the year prior before having a relatively rocky road to production. Despite there being a lot of initial excitement about the project, Maketoys then announced that the pre-orders placed for Galaxy Meteor were too low, and so they wouldn't be moving forward to produce the figure after all. What followed was a lot of online campaigning in order to try and convince the company that the required interest was there after all, which ended positively with Maketoys securing the pre-orders they needed and the figure finally being released to a warm reception. That's great news too, as Galaxy Meteor is honestly nothing short of a marvel, particularly in that rather stunning robot form. It's based on two original toys which were both released back in 2005. There was a Voyager-class version which was exclusively part of Takara's Galaxy Force line, as well as a significantly larger Supreme toy, which was also released by Hasbro as part of Transformers Cybertron. The design itself takes heavy inspiration from Don Figueroa's artwork for the comic book series The War Within, where Starscream was reimagined in his early Cybertronian form. His robot mode features a very similar body shape, and many of the finer details are also highly reminiscent as well. In fact, it's surprising that Maketoys never saw fit to release Galaxy Meteor in a traditional G1 colour scheme given this inspiration. Not to worry though, as the combination of blue, red, yellow and warm grey is one that works amazingly well and gives this figure a very eye-catching finish in hand. It helps that paint applications are superbly applied and crisp, meaning that even the close quarters inspection is looking on point. The sculpt is also really nicely done, with plenty of detail all over Galaxy Meteor's body that brings the character to life nicely in 3D form. The head sculpt is magnificent and ably recalls Starscream as he's represented on screen in the Cybertron cartoon. There are also two alternate faces to choose from if you wish, including one which features about as spot-on a Starscream smirk as I think I ever did see. Weirdly, I often find that Maketoys fluff it on at least one of the faces they produce, and so it is here, as the exaggerated grin option is not really to my taste in truth. Still, there's little denying what a handsome devil this toy is overall, and especially so once you start cranking through all the posability on offer. Few toys can boast as smooth and as fluid articulation as this one, as it seems almost impossible to position Galaxy Meteor in a bad light. He's just a joy to handle from start to finish, with all of the joints needed to make him feel like an exceptionally intuitive action figure. In terms of weaponry, he features a sizable hand blaster, which can be pegged fairly securely into his palm. He's also sporting a pair of flip-up nipple guns, which allow for additional waist articulation once deployed. He then has a large swiveling cannon on either arm, which are mounted on movable hinged joints and look quite imposing when properly posed. Just like the original Starscream toys, his arms also deploy pop-out blades which are an attractive translucent purple colour and look really great in hand. There's one in each arm just like on the Galaxy Force Voyager release. Unlike the character's original design, the blades on this toy are activated by the push of a button on either arm, instead of by inserting a Cyberplanet key, although Galaxy Meteor does still feature a representation of the key itself, even if it is non-functional here. All in all, this is one of the most magnificent robot forms I can think of on a third-party design, and mixes a strong blend of aesthetics, play value, and fluid design to just be effortless fun all around. That elegance extends through to the toy's transformation, which is a fairly intuitive affair and boasts a couple of genuinely clever little touches, most notably the way that the backs of the legs are made up of folded panels that can be deployed with the push of a button hidden in the shins. As for the vehicle mode, it's a highly sleek interpretation of the original Galaxy Force design, and looks pretty great with how the colour scheme comes together too. It's perhaps not the most aerodynamic looking jet form ever, but then I don't really think that's what this design was going for in the first place, so on that basis it works well overall. All of the robot mode weapons carry over to this form, including the handheld blaster which can be tabbed underneath the nose cone for a bit of extra firepower. Overall, this toy does a wonderful job at bringing the original design smack up to date and giving it a very welcome masterpiece style overhaul. It would be terrific to see Maketoys bring us further Unicron Trilogy designs in the same vein, and certainly produced at the same level of quality engineering as this figure, but even if that never happens, at least we got this one terrific toy along the way. So, full confession time. I'm really not all that familiar with the original Cybertron toy line at all. In fact, a lot of the Unicron trilogy just kind of came at the wrong time for me to get into back in the day. So it's only really now that I've started to go back and look at some of these toys with fresh eyes. As it is, I've just recently made the decision that I will start exploring Micron Legend as a toy line soon, so that's something to look forward to, maybe even in future videos. As far as Maketoys Galaxy Meteor goes though, I couldn't be happier to have him back in the collection where he belongs, especially if he's helping to start that new trend of third parties going beyond just Generation 1 for inspiration. I'm still also kind of hoping that Maketoys might eventually see fit to release the Thundercracker and Skywarp repaints they had unveiled for this design, as they look really stunning too, even if they're not based on anything from the original toy line itself. Anyway, that's it for our Toy of the Week, so a big thank you for watching, and indeed to everyone who's subscribed to the channel so far. Big gratitude also to all of my Patreon supporters. Details are coming up at the end of the video in just a moment. That's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your day. TTFN.